Hi everyone, we are excited to have you here in today's fun-filled learning session at Uolo. Here is a quick look at how you can submit your work after the class. As a first step, go to live.uolo.com. You can use any browser to access this site. On this page, you will see a list of all our classes. Scroll down and you can see the Submit Your Work button. And then you will see a list of the classes that you've last attended, which could, for example, show the dance or craft or science experiment classes you've attended recently. Next, it will show you the list of children whose names are registered in this mobile number. Choose your name from this list to submit your work. For instance, if you are Satvik Kumar, choose that name. And then choose the class for which you would like to make your submission. For example, if you've attended the New Year's Masquerade Party session and you'd like to make the submission for this class, click on the Submit Your Work button below that. And then upload the photo you've taken. Choose the image from your phone and click Submit. You can scroll down and view all your past submissions and see how many of your friends or peers have liked your work. You can also see others' work and like their work to inspire your friends. If you want to showcase your work on social media, that too is very simple. Click on Share, copy the link and post it on Instagram or Facebook or any other platform of your choice. Just a tiny reminder, your submission looks a lot better if you could click a photo in the landscape mode rather than the portrait mode. Do not forget to tag us at YOLO_app. I'm eagerly looking forward to all your submissions right after this class.
Hi guys. Hello. Hi everybody. I hope you guys are doing absolutely well. That was just the process of submission that we just shared at the beginning of this class. In case you have joined in late, do not worry because we would be playing the same video again towards the end of this class. So the video is just about the process of making your submissions, the picture perfect artworks, so that we can see your artworks. And the best part of making your submission is that you hold a chance to be featured in the top 10 entries. Okay, so if you make your submissions, first of all, consistently for all the classes of the course, you receive a certificate by the end of the class. That is even an exciting part. And of course, if you're making a submission for a particular class, you hold a chance to get featured among the top 10 submissions on the website. Okay, so make sure that you're not missing on to these two opportunities. And that was just about it. That is just the submission process so that you don't get stuck at any point while making your submissions. So I hope you guys are doing absolutely well, having a really great day, and I welcome all of y'all to the class 2 of this course. So I had an amazing response in the previous class. I absolutely loved how you all enjoyed creating that sketch with me, and I also loved all the submission. Trust me, I had some frustration while I had to select the top 10, but trust me, all of the submissions were extremely awesome. Okay, so keep up that good pace, keep making your submissions. I love watching them, and they are also a kind of motivation for me to come up with new kind of courses and new kind of techniques. And I am actually inspired by how talented you guys are. So that was a really great thing. I'm super happy to see you're enjoying this class. And for everybody who's new here joining this class, the class 2 of this course, I am Niharika and I'm conducting this class about urban sketching. I already briefed you all about what urban sketching is, so I'm going to just repeat a few points again. So urban sketching was started by a community of artists called as urban sketchers, and the most predominant part of this technique is that they visit a particular place and do live sketching of that place. Say, for example, you are at Taj Mahal, you have Taj Mahal in front of you, so you just grab a sheet, a journal, and a pen, and you just make a quick sketch of the Taj Mahal, and that could be an urban sketch. So I thought of just introducing this technique and this art form to you guys. Of course, it is not practical for us to visit a place, but at least we can try to understand the techniques. And the most amazing fact about this particular technique is that we don't have any restriction when it comes to the tools we use. We use a regular local gel pen or a ball pen or any kind of ink pen, and we just end up making a beautiful sketch. So it's just a lot of scribbles on the page, but it ends up to be a really, really beautiful piece of art. And of course, it is an exciting journey. So with that note, I want you to give a quick thumbs up if you're ready with your art materials. Of course, we just have two art materials. Give me a thumbs up if you're ready with both of your art materials, and then I'm going to quickly, and then we shall all just get started with the class. Okay, so come on, quickly thumbs ups in the chat section. Everybody will give me a thumbs up in the chat section. Give me a bright smile. Come on, everybody's smiling. Yes or no? I want all the smiling faces, no dull faces in my class. Come on, everybody gives me a bright smile. Give me a thumbs up in the chat section, in the comment section, that you guys are ready with your art materials. I'm going to share the screen, and let us then get started today with you. Okay, so I'll just share the screen. I hope you can see the screen. So that were a lot of thumbs ups in the chat section. Thank you so much for all your great response, all the excitement, and let us now just get started. Okay, so of course, the basic two art materials that we need again is going to be first an A5 size of drawing sheet. This is a white drawing sheet. In case you're not having a white drawing sheet, you can use any other colored sheet available at your place. And if you don't have any of these, I'm sure you have a notebook at your place, so you can just grab a sheet from your notebook as well. That would be fine as well. So don't worry about being specific about the art materials, because as I said, this particular art form, urban sketching, has nothing to do with art materials, but everything to be done with excitement and fun. Okay, so the first basic art material, we need a sheet. It could be either a drawing sheet, it could be a notebook sheet, totally fine. Any size would work. So please do not worry if you have notebook sheet, because that would be fine as well. That would work as well. Okay, so that was the first material. Number two, we need a pen. So the one I have here is a black gel pen. You can either have a blue gel pen, you can have a black ball pen, you can have a blue ball pen as well. Any kind of ink pen would work. Avoid using sketch pens and markers if possible, but if you don't have any of these available at your place, a blue or black gel pen or ball pen, you can use sketch pens as well. But preferably, it would be fun if you use a regular local gel pen, ball pen of any color. I'm not being very typical about the color, but I am going to use this black ink gel pen. You can use any color of your choice. So these are the two art materials that we need for today's class and all the further classes as well, trust me. So with that said, let us now get started. And as I said, we will avoid using any kind of tools, any geometric tools like a scale or any kind of compass or rounder, etc. to create the sketch. We'll be absolutely freehand. And as I said this in the previous class as well, it's totally fine if you're not able to achieve that perfection, because as I keep repeating this, urban sketching has nothing to do with perfection. It is just solely about enjoying the technique. Okay, so on that note, let us now dive into today's fun activity. So begin with the pen that you have, a gel pen, ball pen, and make sure that first of all, the sheet that you have is in the landscape mode. If you are creating it on a portrait mode, that is in vertical manner, make sure that you're creating the sketch which fits onto that size. But I am going to place the sheet in my landscape mode. Landscape mode is nothing but the horizontal way, so that I can create this whole sketch on this wide sheet of paper so that I have more coverage, more area for coverage. So I'm going to place it in the landscape mode first of all, and then I'm going to begin the class. If you're having other size of sheet, if you have a square paper, that is totally fine as well. Just make sure that whatever size of paper you're using, you're making the sketches according to the size of the sheet. If you have a really very tiny sheet, something like an A6 size of sheet, very tiny one, you can make sure that all the sketches are smaller in size. And if you have a wide sheet of paper, you're just free to cover the entire sheet. Okay. Awesome. So let us get started. So I'm going to start with slightly the right side, and I'm going to start roughly from the central part, but on the right side. And I'm going to draw a horizontal line here. So I'm drawing a horizontal line here, which is absolutely freehand. And if you see, it has uneven, abrupt edges as well. So that's totally fine. That is the true essence of urban sketching. So the first horizontal line, then we just mark a point at the central part above and then create a diagonal line. Okay, so we are creating a sketch of a home, a house today. Okay, so this is the first part of it. We just try to make a triangle, a small roof of the house on slightly the right side of the sheet. So this is the first triangle. Okay, let's move to the bottom section now. Okay, so the bottom area of this triangle, let's add the two parallel vertical lines over here, absolutely freehand. I'm not using any tools over here, no scale, nothing, but just trying to be as perfect and as straight in creating those lines as possible. It's totally fine if you have crooked edges. So these are the two vertical lines. If you want me to repeat, I'm going to quickly take you here. This was the first triangle that we created. That is the roof of the house, one part of the house, slightly on the right side. Then we are just going to go ahead by creating two vertical lines below, which are parallel to each other. And again, I'm repeating this. I'm not using any kind of tools over here, and I'm creating these double lines. Okay, so just trying to enjoy the process, creating two vertical lines over here. Okay, we're not going to join these with the help of horizontal line this time, but if you remember the previous class where we created a window, so that kind of window I'm trying to sketch over here, but this time I'm going to try making like a door. So first we draw a semicircle, and then I draw these two vertical lines below. Okay, so I'm going to repeat this again. I want all eyes on the screen in case you have missed it. So we first draw a semicircle or a curve or an inverted alphabet U, and then extend these with the help of these two vertical lines. Okay, and then for the upper portion, we give an inner lining again, a double outline, and create the semicircle. Okay, so just an inner lining, and then I create a horizontal line. And now just below this, I'm going to create a square. So even for me, if you see here, it is slightly diagonal. I couldn't achieve that perfection over here, but that's totally fine. Okay, as long as you're enjoying the process, that's totally fine. Okay, on the top section, I've just created these diagonal lines. If you see here, I've just created these three diagonal lines, and on the bottom section, I'm just creating these two rectangles. Okay, just these two rectangles over here, and I'm going to just fill in this area with the help of scribbles, some basic scribbles which look like I filled the ink inside. Okay, so I'm gonna quickly repeat this from here. Let's start. So these were the two rectangles that I created. You can have your own choices of shape. You can use your own designs over here. That's totally fine. If you want to add more details over here, you can just go ahead and enjoy the process. And just for the fillers, if you see, I'm just going ahead with the pen in this manner, just kind of scribbling, not intentionally coloring each and every corner of this area, but just trying to fill in the gap with the help of these diagonal lines. Okay. Then on the top area, I'm going to again give this horizontal line, then an inner lining. So you are free to make your own choices of details over here as you want it to be. Okay. So just slight details over here. You can skip this process if you're not liking it. You can add your own choices of details just the way you want. Okay. And as we know this trick, in order to make a line darker, we can just make it a little thicker. We can just go ahead with some more overwriting, overdrawing on that line, and we'll achieve that dark, bold color. So the most easy part of this is when you hold the pen very lightly, you get very thin strokes and that act as a lighter shade, as a lighter color. Of course, the only color that we would be able to achieve here would be black and tones of gray. But that could be achieved only when you're able to handle your pen well. If you're just applying a little more pressure while creating, you'll have darker strokes, you will have darker lines. But if you're just being very light with your pen, if you're applying very light pressure while drawing, you'll have extremely thin lines, which when compared to the dark lines will look a little darker, will look a little lighter. Okay. So that is what I'm doing here. This time I'm applying a little more pressure so that I get those dark lines. And then you can just create these strokes on one side. So just these horizontal lines, not throughout, but just on the corner, if you see, and I'm being extremely light when I handle the pen. And that's the reason I'm able to achieve this lighter shade. It is not actually the lighter shade, but the fact that I'm, applying the least amount of pressure on the pen while drawing, I'm able to achieve this kind of effect. Okay. So I'm going to quickly repeat this part for you. Let's see what details do we add now. So this was the roof. So I'm just going to darken this area. And as I said, in order to darken the area, I'm just going to apply a little more pressure on the pen to achieve that darker and bold tone. And on one side then, I'm just giving these light horizontal strokes with extremely low amount of pressure onto the pen. Okay, let's move on the other part of the house now. So just extending the horizontal line again. So if you see, I'm just creating an extended version of this horizontal line. So the first horizontal line that we created, we're just going to extend it a little on the left side now for the other part of the home or the house that we are creating. And again, if you see, I'm making a dot at the central part. So exactly the same thing that we have to do again at the top side. Just like we extended the horizontal line on the left side, the diagonal line that we have on top above, right here where the cursor is moving, we just have to extend it again to make the other part of the roof of the house. Okay, don't worry, I'm going to repeat it again. So the trick here is just for the first time, you'll be extremely light with the pen. And when you see that your line is straight enough or your line is the one you want, you can just apply a little more pressure and then darken it. So if you see here, I'm applying very least amount of pressure and just trying to create a rough line. And then I feel that the line is perfect and it is like the way I want it to be, I'm going to just darken that area. Okay, so let's quickly begin from here. This was the horizontal line that we extended. Now we are going to extend the diagonal line of the roof of the smaller house that we created over here. So this is just an adjoining part of the house only that we are creating. So here I'm creating another longer diagonal line this time. Okay, so this is how it should look, and once you're happy with the structure of it, you can just go ahead with a little more amount of pressure and darken the areas. Okay, let's go ahead with the bottom portion here, adding this vertical line. Let's add a window over here, and this window is going to be extremely the same window that we tried to create in the previous class. So this time let's apply that knowledge, let's apply that particular learnings of creating a window in this and blend it with our house. Okay, so creating an inverted U only, again the same thing that we did in the previous class. For the top portion, again I'm going to create this semicircle, and the bottom portion I'm going to create the window. Okay, so 2 square over here, 2 squares over here. You can give your own shapes and details to the window if you want. Okay, so this was again something that we learned in the previous class. These details were the focus of the previous class, of course. Okay, awesome. So if you want, I'm going to repeat this for you. Let's begin right from here. So this is just an inverted U. And then for the inner lining, I'm again giving a semicircle. Then I give a rectangle. And then finally, I'm going to give 2 squares over here. Okay, so feel free to add your own choices of details that you want to give to your home sketch this time. I would want a window over here, so I'm just trying to create this over here and the roof area. Okay, so in case you're just wanting to know this detail, the upper portion, I'm going to take you a little back. Let's start from here. So what I'm just drawing is a curved line. First I draw a curved line and then I draw a square. But I'm drawing the curved line at a little lower level as compared to the square. So if you see a square, this curved line which is following it is slightly at a lower level as compared to the square. And then I just try to follow the series. So a curved line and a square, a curved line and a square, curved line and a square. Okay, so this is the kind of detail I gave over here. For the top portion again, I'm going to create these kind of partitions to the semicircle. I'm going to fill it roughly with ink, just trying to color it with my scribbles. Okay, awesome. And as I said, we have learned a lot, many effects in the previous class as well. So you can have your own choices of effects that you want to give in this window. And if you see to the squares, I'm giving light strokes on one side. Just on one side, I'm giving these light strokes. So if you want to see it again, let's start from here. I give darker strokes at the upper portion, but when I come to the glass of the window, the whole window, I'm giving very light strokes, and that too at the corner. Okay. Awesome. There we go. Let's move to the next portion now. You can give an inner lining to the roof if you want. Let's add some windows over here as well. We already created a door on one side. For the roof, I'm just creating these rough clusters of tiny horizontal lines which look like bricks. Okay, so it will just give an effect of the bricks on the roof. It is just a cluster of light, tiny horizontal lines. Nothing very fancy, nothing very, rocket science. It is extremely easy. I'm just being very rough. So have a look at this. Just a cluster of 3-4 lines together very lightly at random places. Okay, very, very random, leaving a little bit of gap between each of these. I'm just trying to create these look like the bricks of the roof. Okay. Awesome. So just for this part, let's add 2 windows. We already have a window at the top section. We have a door at the adjoining house over here. Let's add 2 windows over here. Okay. First, I'm just drawing these 2 squares. Okay. So the first step to create these windows is just going to create 2 squares. Let's give an inner lining to the square as well. Inner lining is nothing but drawing a smaller square inside the first square that we have already created. I'm not being very slow in this process, but I'm just making a quick sketch kind of a thing. So you need not be extremely perfect here. And just inside the inner lining, I'm going to again draw these 4 squares, 4 tiny squares which fit next to each other. And then I'm just going to fill this with these ink, with the scribbles for the darker look. So if you see, when you apply more pressure and you make these lines close to each other, they're densely located, and that gives a darker look, that gives a darker tone. Okay. If you want me to repeat the window again, have a look at this one. I'm trying to create for the other side. So first we create the outer square, then we leave a little bit of gap inside and draw another square again, which is nothing but an inner lining. And just inside this, we create 4 tiny squares next to each other. Okay, just like this. So 4 tiny squares next to each other. And then we're just going to fill this with these diagonal lines which are closely located to each other, which are a little dense, which give an effect of a darker tone. Okay. Awesome. So now let's add a bunch of grass at the bottom section, and this is going to be really fun. So first I want you all to observe this, and then you can create it for yourself. Okay, so have a look at how I'm creating the grass. I'm just being extremely random and just kind of scribbling at the bottom section, and I'm just trying to create these grass over here. Okay, so if you see, I'm being extremely random. I'm just trying to scribble at that bottom section, creating those diagonal lines up and down. So I'm going to quickly repeat this. Initially, it would look like a very untidy work, but trust me, when it's done, it would give the desired effect. And this time you can apply a little more pressure onto the pen, because eventually we need a darker shade over here, a darker tone over here. Okay, so if you see, I am just kind of going ahead with simple random scribbles, but at the bottom section only. Don't go over and above this. Just creating these haphazard lines over this area. Please do leave the door area blank. We'll not create any grass there. Just leaving that area blank, not creating any grass there. Let's continue. And we are continuing with the scribbles up to the next part of the house as well. Okay. So I'm going to quickly repeat this right from here in case you have missed it or not getting onto this technique. I don't think this would be a rocket science for you, because this is just plain scribbling. So anybody who loves scribbling, trust me, you are enjoying this process, and we just end up making a beautiful sketch of this house. Okay, there we go. I'm just on to the other part of it. If you want to add some more details, you can add a lamp at the corner, you can add a tree at the corner. You are just free to add as many details as you want. I am just trying to portray my version of this house. You can, of course, add more into this. You can add a tree, you can add a lamp, you can probably add another adjoining house behind this over here at this area if you would like to. So feel free to just express your creativity here. There are no restrictions that you have to be exactly the same as mine. It's totally fine if your artwork is a little different from what I created. So this is what we created in today's class. This is what we sketched in today's class, and I'm in absolute love with this sketch that we created. And I hope that you enjoyed creating this as well. I hope that you are enjoying this art form. You are going to make your submissions, because I am going right away to check all of those. Also, please do attend the next class, because again, we are going to have a random scribbling but very fun technique of creating a lighthouse. Yes, we are going to create a lighthouse in the next class. So please do not miss on to this, and please do not miss on to making your submissions as well. So until next time, please take care of yourselves, stay creative, enjoy all the hobby classes on Uolo, and I'll see you in the next class. Bye-bye.
Hi everyone, we are excited to have you here in today's fun-filled learning session at Uolo. Here is a quick look at how you can submit your work after the class. As a first step, go to live.uolo.com. You can use any browser to access this site. On this page, you will see a list of all our classes. Scroll down and you can see the Submit Your Work button. And then you will see a list of the classes that you've last attended, which could, for example, show the dance or craft or science experiment classes you've attended recently. Next, it will show you the list of children whose names are registered in this mobile number. Choose your name from this list to submit your work. For instance, if you are Satvik Kumar, choose that name. And then choose the class for which you would like to make your submission. For example, if you've attended the New Year's Masquerade Party session and you'd like to make the submission for this class, click on the Submit Your Work button below that. And then upload the photo you've taken. Choose the image from your phone and click Submit. You can scroll down and view all your past submissions and see how many of your friends or peers have liked your work. You can also see others' work and like their work to inspire your friends. If you want to showcase your work on social media, that too is very simple. Click on Share, copy the link and post it on Instagram or Facebook or any other platform of your choice. Just a tiny reminder, your submission looks a lot better if you could click a photo in the landscape mode rather than the portrait mode. Do not forget to tag us at YOLO_app. I'm